Hi there, friends. Welcome in. Welcome. Sorry for the movement. Hi there. Sorry for the delay. I'm trying to get everything inked. Welcome. Sorry for my reach. Hey, Vanessa. Hi there, friends. I was trying to eat and ink at the same time. Not easy. Hi. I might have to move the camera a little bit. I'm just putting on gloves for inking. How are you doing, everyone? Welcome in. We're going to make a supersized flower tonight, just because I need a little bit larger one for my Halloween projects I'm working on. Welcome, friends. Welcome. Oh, awesome. It should be November 9th, I think. Sorry, I'm just moving the camera around. So while we give a few people time to join, I'm just going to keep inking because to me, I'm sorry, I would hope I don't bore you when I ink. So I try and get it done ahead of time. It's probably like watching paint dry. Hi, Jeanette. Yeah, it should be November 9th, Vanessa, because my check-in date is the 10th in Florida, so. Welcome in. I'm just inking a little bit. I'm just going to give you a few minutes, a minute or two for some others to join, and then we'll go over everything. But this is a super fun flower. We are being crazy tonight and mixing both templates from the Halloween Spooktacular mini flower bundle. So I'm using parts of template 5 and 6 from the mini flower bundle to create a flower. So we're being super crazy and creative tonight. I wanted the challenge. Hi, Wendy. How are you? I know, just because the black gets everywhere. Martha. Welcome in, friends. I'm just going to give it another moment for some people to join, and then we will go over the sizes. I'm just going to try and keep inking because it's a lot of inking for a Spooktacular flower. So I'm just using my favorite black soot, Distress Oxide. My coloring that I'm using is from the Citrus paper pack, but it is also in the Tangerine paper pack. The color I used for the photo I posted about today's tutorial was from the Citrus paper pack. So I'm keeping to the yellows and oranges and reds for my coffin project. Hey, Stephanie, welcome in. We are going to get started in just a moment to go over the sizes I have noted here because we are mixing two templates together to create a Spooktacular flower. I got the harder ones done, so hopefully it won't take too long to finish the inking. I did my best to try and get it all done. J Crew, hi Linda, welcome. How are my friends in Florida or affected by Helene or Milton? Everybody doing okay? I know there's so much damage. So we will be doing a super fun flower or so, whether you're watching a live or in replay, thank you for stopping by. I am Julie with PhotoFabPaperFlowers, and we are going to make a 6.5-inch flower. Again, using the 2024 Halloween Spooktacular mini flower bundle. So I had to pull out my sheet just so I could see the two different petals and the shapes of them when I was designing it in my machines, or in my project in my machine's design space. So I did start a new project, and then I was designing it. I was just picking petals, but then you're just going to set up in that new project. You're going to add the sepal from template 6. Okay. You need 2 of them at 6.5 inches wide. And I did put this in the comments for the reminder about the tutorial. It just doesn't have all the extra stuff. So it'll be much cleaner looking. So if you wanted to create it. Okay, then we're going to go to petal 3 from template 5. And you're going to cut 2 of them at 6 inches wide. Okay. I'll come back and ink the ones I didn't ink. Then you go to petal 1 from template 6 and cut 1 at 5.75. And then we go back to petal 3 from template 5. You need 1 at 6 inches wide. Then you go back to petal 1 from template 6. I think I mixed that up. At 6 inches wide. Then we're switching to petal 2 design from template 5. She's going to be fun. At 5.75. Then we swap to petal 3 from template 6, 1 at 5.75. Petal 2, you go back to template 5, 1 at 5.5 inches. Okay. Back to petal 3 for template 6, and you need 1 at 5.5. Then our center, you need 3 of them of template 5s. You're going to cut 3 at 5.25 inches. Center 3 from template 6. Told you we were mixing. Cut 2 at 5 inches. And then center 2, you just need 1 from template 6 at 10 inches wide by 1.79. Okay. Now I'm going to finish inking. While my center was on the mat, I just brushed on a light coat of black soot. And you can set that to the side. So I did my sepals. Again, that's template 6. Petal 3, we have 2 of them at 6 inches wide. So we're going to come back through here and add our ink. So I come down the right side across the top. I try and get in the crevices, and I'm not being careful especially because this is a Halloween flower for me. Now, of course, you don't have to ink, so it does not have to be spooky or anything like using the black. You can use any color or no inking at all. So again, just because we did it for Halloween does not mean it has to be used for that purpose. Especially this, she's super fun. Hi, Maria. Because again, we're being crazy. It's Friday night. It's crafting happy hour. So why not mix 2 of the templates together to create a new flower? And at 6.5 inches, she's not super big, so definitely you could stem this. Again, you can use these in your larger busted canvases. Or even like the 12 by 12 that I made, you could use this. Or in my case, to decorate a coffin. So again, I'm not being clean. I'm just rubbing it on both edges, on both sides of all of my petals. Now, like I mentioned, I did do the more complicated ones first. So you don't have to watch all the inking happening. Hi, Christy. Oh, Maria, I don't know. You should, and you're set to follow. Now, I was later. I did post that I was coming on late. So I hope everybody had a good week. It was a little up and down with emotions and busyness. Crazy. Oy, I'm happy it's Friday. I don't know. I'd have to Google or ask ChatGPT or ask Copilot. Or you could ask ChatGPT. And then I'm just going to come down the opposite sides. Again, this is how I ink. It does make it go faster. And again, we want ours to be a little bit spooky, so we're using that black soot, which turns out to look very charcoal-y gray. Almost looks like lead color of a pencil. Don't you think? Alright, so then we switch to petal 1 from template 6. So again, we're flip-flopping back and forth between the templates. So again, go around the edges. Again, I'm not being clean or precise. Ooh! See, yeah, you can use it for whatever you need to. Any of the bundles. So if we make it for Halloween or flower camp or a Very Merry Makers weekend, we have the dates. We're just looking at one modification for that. We discussed it today, so you should have the dates release. We're hoping next week for a Very Merry Makers weekend or midweek. We'll see. All depends on our plans. And that will be happening in November. So stay tuned. Lots of fun stuff happening. It does, doesn't it? Very much so, Linda. So again, I'm just going around the edges, and I apologize. I wanted to have it all done. Did anybody cut some petals? I know I posted later in the day. It was busy. Oh, good. I don't want you to miss Julie time, right? And I am done house sitting and kitty sitting. Officially done last night. Though he is quite the little lover, so I will miss him. So again, we're flip-flopping back and forth between the two templates. So as you can see, I got some of them inked, so we don't have too much to go. So thank you for hanging out. Maria. How about the cooler temperatures we've had around here? I know probably not in Florida. Oh, I think you were cooler in Florida too. I have long sleeves on again. It was down in the 30s. But this weekend it's supposed to be summer-like again, back up in the 70s, near 80. I was getting used to wearing boots again and fall clothing. So Linda, fall clothing for you in Florida is a short sleeve shirt and not a tank top, right? Welcome in, friends. Happy Friday. It is Crafting Happy Hour, so thank you for stopping by. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending when you're watching, live or in replay. Right. Looks like a strawberry. I'm excited. I'm going to Hershey to the spa tomorrow morning. Some good quality time with my friend Jess. So excited to see her. Feel like it's been forever. And then we're going to just come down the opposite side. So again, I'm not being super clean with inking. I do have gloves on just because the black does really make y'all fingers dark, and I want to finish eating my dinner as soon as we're done. So again, we're just flip-flopping back and forth, and I think this is the last one I have to do. I didn't do too bad. I'm getting it done. Oh, there we go. I know, Maria, it is crazy. It's been so far up and down. And the leaves we're almost at peak of the coloring of the leaves. So hopefully tomorrow when I head to Hershey up over the mountain, I'll try and film it. I think I'm going to go the back way. The country road, so you can see how pretty it is. I haven't been anywhere really besides our local neighborhoods and my drive to work. But it's been windy, so then the leaves get knocked off before they even turn. What's everybody's plans for the weekend? Anything exciting? So like I mentioned, I'm going to Hershey tomorrow, and then we're going to the Greek Food Bazaar Festival, my friend and I. And that's what I'm eating actually tonight from there as well, the platter dinner. And then Sunday is dedicated to my coffin for the cubicle decorating contest. My fencing looks awesome in my cubicle. So I do need to make 2 more pieces of fence, I think. If not, it would be okay, but most importantly, I need to figure out to get my skeletons to stand. Oh, yeah, no, I can't wear a turtleneck either. I used to be able to. Now I will wear a scarf loosely around the neck. All right. So let me just go through and we'll just double check, but I think we are ready to style our petals. So again, I just inked everything front and back. Here I have 2 black set out. The center, while it was still on my Cricut mat, I lightly brushed one side. So we're going to take our bone folder and we'll do our center a while. So with the ink facing up. That's right, Maria. That's what I said too. We're going to curl our center with our bone folder. So you're just going to pull it like you're curling lashes. So again, we mix templates 5 and 6 together. So I normally will create all of my template 5 flowers in one project. I did start a new project and then I just added each of the petals that we used into that new project. And then I just labeled it as 2024 Halloween Spooktacular Template 5 and 6 Supersized Flower. And then in the project, I always mark the date that we do it. We're going to take our slotted quilling tool. You thread it onto the center. I start at the right end. You can come right close to where the edge is. And you're going to roll it a few times. And then we're going to add some hot glue. Roll it towards you, keeping that bottom edge aligned the best you can. And then we're going to secure it with hot glue. Do I need to do a roll check? Oh, for everybody that's on, who's missing? A roll call? All right, now we're going to brush on a little bit of black soot. Nathan, Tina, Chrissy, we have Jeanette, we have Vanessa, right? Yeah. Vanessa's on. We're going to brush on a little bit of purple seedless preserves because we love using this combo. And most of my flowers have had this combo. Nathan's at work, but we tag him. And then I'm adding a little bit of crackling campfire as well. A little bit of orange. Chrissy, not sure. A lot of times she'll watch. I don't know if she works on a Friday night. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of black again on the tips. For a little bit of a smoky appearance. And there's our center. Very, very center. This one looks like it can go in the trash, right? Yep, Maria's here. Yep. Bally, though, I'm not sure how her grandson's doing. We're going to flip our stack of petals over. We're going to start with our sepal here. We're going to keep both of those stacked. We're going to bring in our dowel rod chart. Ooh, excuse me. Burping up the Greek salad. Pardon me. We're going to take our blue 3/16 dowel rod. So that's our coastal blue. And then you're going to place it down the middle of the sepal petal. And again, we're starting with template 6. Pinch and roll. We haven't mixed templates in a while to create a flower. So I was like, ooh, let's try it. You know I love a good challenge. Yes, Wendy, it definitely, and this one is in the citrus paper pack by Recollections from Michaels, and it's also in the tangerine paper pack. The yellow that I used for my sample flower was from the citrus paper pack. So the blue, again, we're mixing 2 different templates from the Halloween Spooktacular, so I flip-flop back and forth. And we did go over that in the beginning. So the main thing, like with a lot of these, is what is the direction of the petal. So this is petal 3 from template 5 now. We cut 2 of them at 6 inches. So my first layer, well, it's going to end up being attached to the bottom, but we'll just call it the first petal here. It's going to go left, and you're going to take your red dowel rod. And we are going to roll them up. So place it down the middle of the petal. So these are larger. So I am using my 12-inch dowel rods. It really, oops, I just ripped my petal. Don't do what I just did. Pinch it up with your thumb and roll it between your fingers. Oh my goodness. Yeah, definitely you can use this in a fall set, and you wouldn't have to ink it with black soot. You could use a brown or ground espresso or even the vintage photo for a slight inking. Or you could do the center and blend out. Or no ink at all, you know? So now for your metal ball stylus, I'm taking one of the larger ones and I'm just going to roll down from the top. So start at the top and just roll your metal ball stylus down. Now I'm going to let this be my second layer just because I ripped that and I want to hide that. So we're just going to redo what we just did. So with our red dowel rod, or you can use the 3/8. So if you found, you could see mine was creasing, you can use the yellow 3/8, which is a little bit larger. Pinch it up and roll it along. So these are larger, a little bit more difficult to roll, but if you take your time, you'll be fine. Roll it up just around, and I'm using the yellow one in this case. You can use red or yellow for both of these petals, whatever you find is easier. Again, you're gonna take that metal ball stylus, start at the top and pull down. Curl it right up. It's like little tentacles. Okay, so these two are styled exactly the same. You can use the red or the yellow dowel rod. I'm going to flip this over, and this is going to be attached at the end. This is going to be my layer 1. And we're going to assemble as we style, especially with this one, because it's going to get a little bit confusing. I'm just going to keep following along over here on the left. This is petal number 1 from template 6. So this was 5, so now we're going to template 6 from the Halloween Spooktacular. And we are going to use that yellow 3/8 dowel rod just because it is a wide petal. So place it down the middle of the petal, pinch it up with your thumb, and roll. Hi, Pat. How are you? Oh, he had to have surgery, and I believe he has cancer. And I'm not sure if they had to amputate part of his leg. And Bally, if I misspoke, I'm very sorry. I'm trying to remember. But I know he's going through some health issues. Pinch it up and roll. Alright, so now this is layer 1. Layer 2. We're just going to roll where the petals meet the base. Add some hot glue. And we're going to look at this X and bring one of our petals straight down in between. Again, we're mixing template 5 and 6 from the Halloween Spooktacular. So you're going to see lots of different, she's going to have a lot of texture. Now we're going back to petal 3 from template 5. And this is 6 inches wide. We're going to make sure our petal is curved to the right. And we can use our red 5/16 now. Place it down the middle of the petal, pinch it up with your thumb. Why am I ripping? I did not rip my earlier ones, which is hysterical. What? Be careful. If you want to, you can go to the yellow. Maybe it's this color, because it did rip a lot of the petals. Pinch it up and roll. Pinch it up and roll. And if you need to, you can come in from the other side. And again, if you find it is ripping, you can go to the yellow. Hi, Donna. I'm doing well, Pat. I don't know what's going on with my petals, though. And then for these little tentacles, again, start at the top and just roll down. And again, like mine ripped off when I was pulling it off the mat. You just glue it on. You're not going to see it. Just roll your metal ball stylus down to get those little tentacles lifted. Then you're going to roll right where the petals meet the base to lift up the petals a little. Add some glue on the back. We're going to look at our top 2 petals. We're going to choose a petal and bring it straight down. Again, she's going to have a lot of texture because we're flipping back and forth between petal designs. And I'm making it Halloween-y, so. We're going back to petal number 1. And we're going to use that yellow dowel rod again because she's super wide. So that's our 3/8 as noted. Place it down the middle of the petal, pinch it up with your thumb, and roll. Pinch it up and roll. Place it down, pinch it up with your thumb, let go, and just roll it between your fingers. And because I'm right-handed, most of the time my curl comes in more from the right. Pinch and roll. Okay, then take your metal ball stylus and you're just going to roll right around where the petals meet the base on your flower shaping mat. Add your glue. And we're going to look at the top two petals, look at a petal, and bring it straight down in the center. Probably the hardest part is keeping it centered. Believe me, I get off center too sometimes. But you can hide it with how you attach it to your project. Oh, she's so cute. She's got lots of personality. Just like me. Petal number 2 now is from template 5. So again, more flip-flopping back and forth. So we want to make sure this is going to the left, our petal. Now, because these are skinnier, we're going to switch to our olive green 1/4 inch dowel rod. Place it down in the middle of the petal, pinch it up and roll. Pinch it up and roll. Pinch up and roll. Oops. Okay, so she'll have a nice curl to her petals. Okay, roll the center. So now our petals are starting to get skinnier. And this one has more petals than our previous petal design. So we're just going to look here in between, we're going to go here, in between two petals and bring it straight down in between. Now, this is where you can start shifting it if you saw that you were more to that side and to here. So just keep rotating it around and make sure you're standing over top to make sure it's even. It looks like blue in this light. This is petal number 3 from template 6. So again, we're flip-flopping back and forth. I'm going to make sure my petals are curved to the right. And we're going to take that 1/4 inch green dowel rod again. Place it down the middle of the petal, pinch it up with your thumb, and roll. Do you like that we're mixing the two templates together to create a flower? And she's not supersized. She looks really cute next to the flower we made on Tuesday night. Roll the petals. Now, because these are super long, they will stand up in here once they're leaning in there. So again, we're going to look at two petals. Look at your top petal and bring it straight down in between. They may stack a little. That's okay. Okay, this is now petal 2 from template 5. We're going to make sure the petal's going to the left. And we're still going to use that 1/4 inch green dowel rod. Place it down in the middle of the petal. Pinch it up with your thumb and roll. Pinch it up and roll. So thank you all for joining, hanging out tonight. Appreciate your likes, shares, comments. Just hanging out, whether you're silent or chatting. I appreciate it, as always. Makes my heart happy to bring you tutorials and to create new flowers and inspire you. Roll in a circular motion. Are all your neighborhoods decorating for Halloween? I'm loving all the people's Halloween decorations. Look at the top two petals. Look at any petal and bring it straight down in between. Ooh, she's gonna look so pretty on my coffin. Petal number 3 from template 6 at 5.5 inches wide. We're going to make sure our petal kind of curves to the right. This one is a little harder to tell. And we're still going to use that 1/4 inch green dowel rod, olive green. Place it down. Now this one ripped off, so I just need to be careful. Pinch it up and roll. So like I told you, this one I had a little trouble. This paper I've had for a long time, so I don't know if that's why it was giving me trouble. The other color cut easily. Now I'm back to using my original Cricut Explorer Air 2 chip because Larry decided he wanted to go into retirement. So I brought Chip back out of retirement. This would be pretty in red, purple, blue, any color, even white. So I do have to watch my one petal that is ready to fall off again. So long as you're super careful. So I want to look in here. Oh, I just put my finger in the hot glue. Does your fingers like to go right where you place the glue like mine? Sorry, it just switched again. There we go. Oh, goodness. All right, so for our 3 petals, the center one from template 5, I'm going to stack all 3. Try and get them lined up. It's probably the hardest part. You're all very quiet tonight. Okay, now we're going to take our precision scissors. And we're going to cut between every 2 clusters towards the center. So you can see that gap. Here's 2 petals. Now we're going to go in between. Just watch your fingers. Every 2 petals. And you can see it's a cluster where they're attached at the base. You just don't want to cut your petals off. You can cut a nice generous cut. Now we're going to roll the wider petals here with our blue 3/16 coastal blue. Place it down in the middle of the petal, pinch it up with your thumb, and roll. So I'm doing all 3 at once. If you're not comfortable with rolling 3 of them at once, you can just do 1. Roll. So again, this does not have to be a Halloween flower. You can do it in any color, no ink or ink. Your choice. But she's so pretty. Pinch and roll. Did I confuse everybody? Are you still there? All right, so now we're going to work from the center out. Because you can see our center is getting a little full, but we like it full so our flower stays open or closed or nice and full and doesn't, from the humidity or the heat, doesn't close up on us. So for our 3 center 3s, our center 1s, oh my God. We're just going to pull down with our metal ball stylus. Starting at the top, and even the ones that we rolled. So just roll that ball down from the top of the petal towards the center. So we're just going to do that for all three of these. Are you all mesmerized? Do you like the Halloween flowers? Again, you don't have to make them Halloween-y. And then again, we're doing that same thing. Ooh, pull down. So for the ones that we rolled with our dowel rod, I'm just going to right to the base of the petal and rolling it, just so it lifts up. We're going to roll the center, but this would be your first step. Just pull them down, boop, roll down from the top. I think Florist the Explorers called these dumbbells, but they're metal ball stylus tools. Okay, so we have 3 of those. And then we have our center 3 from template 6. We have 2 of these. So for these 2, ooh, I don't know if I can stack them. Little buggers don't like to stay stacked. Okay. We're going to cut in between each petal towards the center. Not a lot because these are close. You don't want to cut your petal off. Just enough to get that center smaller. Oh, awesome, Pat. Thank you. Oh, Stephanie. Did anybody make the large busted canvas like V made? And I lost a petal. So when that happens, you just glue it back on, friends. For these, all we're going to do is take our metal ball stylus starting at the top and curl it. So just roll it down from the top. These are like little chicken feet and they want to get caught. Starting at the top, just roll down. We curl right up towards the center. Hi, Randa. Welcome in. We're making a fun flower. We're using a combination of template 5 and 6 from the Halloween Spooktacular mini flower bundle. All right, so you can see our center is not very big and we have a very large center. So we are going to roll right in the very center. And then we're going to open it up ever so slightly. Add glue and I go around the edge of that flat area. Place it in the center. Oops. Okay, so you can see there's a lot of gap. Just fold up and around and pinch at the base. That's why we cut, so it easily grabs that glue around the sides there. So in the center, we're going to have a little bit of orange and purple and black. Here we just have the black on the outer pieces. We're going to take our next one. We are going to roll in the center just to break up the paper fibers. Open it up. Add your glue and go around that flat edge. Place it in the center. And you can see again, there's room around the edge. Just watch your fingers. I'm just going to pinch it up around. Now I'm just opening it up a little bit so you can see that center. Okay, now all three of these are the exact same size, so I'm going to take one of the larger metal balls and just really roll it in the center. Okay, we're going to take our glue. We're just going to add a bunch of glue on that little knob. Knob. Place it in the center. Again, it's going to have a big gap around the edge. Just fold it up and around. Now press at the bottom to let it grab around that bottom. Okay, add your glue again. Take your next one, open it up. Place it in the center. I am trying to bring these in between, but... And then you just fold it up and around and pinch it at the bottom. Add your glue. Open it up and place it in the center. Now because our bottom is much, oops, that one moved, thinner, we can just keep pressing there because then that'll grab in the very center here. But it's open. Add your glue. And then we just glue it in. And then you can just move your petals around. See, it's so fun. You can open up that center a little so you can see that pop of purple. Any petals that's stacked, you can separate. Now, for the topper, remember we have our first layer of petal, and with her little tentacles, with them rolled under, you're going to add glue. And I do it this way because it adds some height. We're going to look at the top two petals, look at a petal, and place it right in between. So if you were stemming her or putting her on the tabletop base, she's going to have a good shape to her now. That's why I do that at the end. Instead of, because if we did that in the beginning, we would have been pressing her flat. And now we can add our two sepals with the sepal petals rolled under. Again, this is our combination flower of template 5 and 6 from Halloween Spooktacular 2024. So I'm just placing it in the center with the petals rolled under. For the second one, you can just grab them down. Add glue on the top. And we're going to place these in between. Now, I could use these as a magnet on our tabletop stands or like on my cubicle wall, but for it to stick on my cubicle wall, I need a few of them to make sure it it attaches to the wall, because these are rolled under. Does that make sense? But she's stunning. So here's a yellow, here's an orange. Again, if you didn't want to ink with the black, you didn't have to. Let's get our little sheet out. Oh, she's so pretty. She's about 6.5 inches. Yeah, she's got some height to her. You can use the fun ones. You know, I would cut these a little bit larger. Oh, but she's so beautiful. And then if you mixed in Tuesday's flowers, look how pretty it is together. So again, this is a combination. So if you look at that combo, you can see the different petal designs and how that looks together. It came out super duper cute. But again, you can mix in our other flowers. So these will be on my coffin that I'm making. But I can even mix in some of the flower camp ones too. So don't forget, or not flower camp, the Spooktacular ones we made during that event. So you can add those in as well. So again, how you can mix and match, and we can have a little bit of fun with these. But this was Tuesday's nights, and then this was 2 nights. And it'll look good against the black coffin for sure. Yes, she does. She's got some body. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I love the texture. Especially because we had all the hairy ones this year. Like these little ones. So perfect to go along with those as well. Lots of texture. We love it. We love it. But thank you all for joining. You got some booty to definitely booty, some curves, but yeah. Super duper cute, not overly large. Again, about 6.5 inches. Yep. So I hope I can inspire you to make a gorgeous flower this weekend. And I hope you enjoyed tonight's tutorial. Let me see if I can bring that over for you. I did post just the sizes in the reminder about our tutorial. Hi, Dory. How are you, my friend? But there you go. That's tonight's flower. 6.5 inches using template 5 and 6 from Halloween Spooktacular 2024 mini flower bundle. So I tell you the petal and then which template it is. So I would start a new project in your machine's design space. And then I kept it handy, my petals and my sheet of what they looked like, just so I could put them in order then. So this is the order that we assembled it as well. Dory, what? You're moving to PA? What part? Are you going to be close to me? What? How exciting. We have to wait to hear where Dory's moving in PA. You can stare at the beautiful Mount Bethel. I'll have to look that up where that is. Is that like near Philly or my area? Like Reading? Lancaster? More north or west? I'll have to look. Girl, Linda. At least part of the year I would like to be in Florida. Oh, absolutely, Dory. We'll have to meet up. There is a house in East Stroudsburg, PA that they have, oh, yeah, yes. Oh, so near the Poconos. So there is a house I was looking at. Maybe we could do a retreat for anybody who's close by, like a weekend retreat. It's a scrapbooking house, kind of like where I go here locally. But it is in East Stroudsburg in the Poconos. It has a pool, a lake. So depending on the time of year, the pictures look beautiful at all times of year, especially now. But it holds, I'm trying to think how many people. I don't know. Kim McLean was there and my friend Lisa. Maybe 10, 12 people. Oh, awesome. So yeah, I wanted to reach out to them to see what dates they had available. And see who would be interested, and we can make some flowers or do a project that weekend and just hang out and have some fun and laughs. So, oh, awesome. Dory, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. All right, my friends, I wish you a great weekend. Just stay tuned in my stories as I decorate my coffin and see if I can get any good leaf pictures. And as we are near peak here in the Reading area of Pennsylvania. So, but thank you all again. I appreciate all your love and support and hanging out with me. It makes my day, especially when I didn't have not such a great week, but you know, we're starting the weekend, so that's all that matters. And I hope I could make your day as you make mine. So have a great rest of your weekend, and I'm around if you have any questions, and we'll talk soon. Bye.